All right, Bygone Geeks, we've made it through the Halloween season, so it's time to travel home for the holidays. So grab your Diners Club card and a trunk full of shower curtain rings, and let's hop on some planes, trains, and automobiles.
Those aren't pillows.
Those aren't pillows. So many good things in this movie. But yeah, I'm excited to make it through. Our kind of spooky retro fright series Halloween season, and David and I we were picking our brains like, what is the best thing to usher in Thanksgiving and the holidays and all that types of stuff. And without a doubt, it was 100%. We were just like planes, trains, and automobiles. You can't beat it.
I've never seen a guy get picked up by his testicles before.
This movie, like, it's one of those where I've referenced before. You're having a bad day, just throw this on.
Yeah.
And you'll instantly forget the world and just laugh and be charmed and just what just happened to them kind of moments.
Yeah.
But man alive, it's so much fun.
Well, and then you'll realize, like you said, if you're having a bad day, your day is not as bad as Dell Griffith and Neil Page's. Like, nobody's day, hopefully, is that bad.
Funny as that may seem, with all this mess, that the radio is the only thing that's really working good, and it's clear as a bell. Don't ask me how.
I mean, it's Steve Martin and John Candy. Like, you can do no wrong. And then you get John Hughes writing their storyline. It's this trifecta of retro amazingness. Like, it's just so good.
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? I talked immediately about Steve Martin and what he brings. I think without John Candy bringing that other element to all this disaster type stuff that happens to them on this trip, the movie wouldn't have really worked. Like, you need Dell. And Steve Martin's probably rolling his eyes like, do we need Dell? He's driving me insane. But you're like, you need both of those characters to really round this just lovable movie out.
Some coffee.
No.
Milk?
No.
Soda?
No.
Some tea?
No.
Lifesavers?
No.
Slurpee?
Sir.
There are times that I watch it that I relate more to Neil. And then there's times that I watch it that I relate more to Dell. And then there's times that I'm like fluid, where I'm just like, man, Neil, you're really being a jerk. But then you realize that you're just like, Dell, you're pushing buttons. You might not realize you're pushing buttons, but you're pushing them real hard.
Gee, if your kid spills his milk, what do? Slap him in the head?
If Bygone Geek went on the road,
I was thinking this exact same thing.
Would we both be Neil at times? Would we both be Dell at times? If I was choosing to be a Neil, I think you'd be a Dell.
Yes.
And bring me out of it. Or if you were being a Neil, I would be able to be a Dell and bring you out of it. Like, I think we have that. I guess there's not gonna be a Bygone Geek movie.
Just two level-headed people dealing with the trip. Like, it's so boring.
Yeah. No.
Wait, these guys get along the whole time? This is lame.
On the next YouTube.
I would rage out into a hulked out Neil Page for his bathroom habits and his sleeping habits. Like, there is no pass being given for either one of those things.
I don't care if you're Chris O'Donnell or Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen. I don't know why I have to say his character and his name. It's just a thing. But you leave the bathroom like that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to walk on a bathroom floor. And any sign of like a wet anything touching my feet, especially if after which doesn't make sense. I've just gotten out of the shower. My feet are already wet, but they're clean feet wet.
Yes.
Right? Like,
that makes sense.
I don't want to touch the bathroom floor now with those,
Hey, Neil, take my socks out of the sink if you're going to brush your teeth.
But he's got some thick skin, man.
Oh,
He's
for sure.
tough. He's a lovable guy, right? But he's tough on the inside.
And
he's had a lot of loss. I mean, not to get sentimental on a movie like this, but there's a lot of heart to it. There is.
Give it like 15 more minutes. Once we make it to the end here, it's just like, I have a lot of stuff to say.
Everyone has bets, right? Oh, they're not going to cry in planes, trains, and automobiles. There's no way.
Well, if you have time to remove that bet, you should do it. The podcast isn't over yet.
Why don't they just edit it out when they cry? Doesn't they have the power to do it?
Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
I honestly am getting like goosebumps and chills thinking of the return moment. And then, he comes back, Dell, what are you doing? Why are you sitting there? And you get there.
Well, to say that she's been gone for 8 years.
Yeah.
and that he has no home to go to, then all in that moment, all at once realizes, God, I've judged this guy for how he's behaved, and yet he's had no one. And that he joined this trip with me for no reason other than to help me get home.
Yeah.
Like, it's so great. Like, I think in that you realize that I think Neil, as curmudgeon and as bitter and as nasty as he can be in this movie, I think that he finally realizes, geez, I wouldn't do this for somebody else, but Dell did it for me, and I should do something for Dell. And to immediately cut from the emotion of that scene to them carrying that big ass trunk again.
Dude, it's like an Avengers Thor, like bring me Thanos scene though, because it's the music's back and it's loud and they're wild. It's so triumphant. You know, it's like yes,
and this it's so good. John Hughes, man, you just keep stabbing me in the heart with all these feels, like hand in hand with this big ass trunk, like in the whole entire movie. You're right.
That trunk brought them together.
Yeah, that's true. It brought them together. Yeah.
Now he's not alone. He has a new family, and you know, you'd like to think in your mind that this is now a tradition, not the journey, but Dell joining the house for Thanksgiving every year, something like that. It exists in my brain. You know?
No, I 100% agree with you, and then there's part of me that makes it even more of an emotional turn to where, God, I wish, with as much as we do this podcast and reminisce nostalgia, and you see things like Top Gun Maverick and Hocus Pocus, like stuff come back into present day. I wish John Candy was still around to where we could see Dell and Neil have Thanksgiving together, and maybe their kids are trying to get home or something. Like, I would have loved to have seen that. And in my mind, I agree with you. I would like to picture in my mind that Dell and Neil, for every Thanksgiving, spent Thanksgiving together as pals.